everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Suqqu collection. This is the fall collection. I didn't pick up everything in the collection, but I did pick up a lot. If you haven't watched my channel before, I'm a big Suqqu fan. I pretty much love every collection they've ever done. The blushes are probably my favorites if I had to pick. But it's really close. Everything they do is really excellent. The only thing I have on my face right now, I have my brows done and I have the new Lancome foundation on. This is Lancome Ultra Wear Care and Glow Foundation. I really like this foundation, like a lot. I'm very impressed. I wouldn't say it necessarily gives me a glow. I don't see that as like a glowy foundation, but I do think, and my hair is crazy because it's super hot. I do think it gives like a really nice skin-like look, and it wears beautifully. I have it in 110C. I'm really very impressed. I am going to do a video with the Lancome on one side and Hourglass on the other, but from what I can tell so far, I like the Lancome a lot more, but yeah, we'll get into it. Okay, so the collection, the fall collection. Now, I think I mentioned in a video, I don't even remember how long ago, that it reminded me of like the 70s because it had this kind of avocado vibe going on, which it does. I do think it does, but I still really like it. I still really like it. One of the reasons I will say is there's a green in here. I love greens. This one is the limited edition one. This is 117, and that's what we're going to use today. This is the limited edition quad. Let the camera adjust. There we go. So that's what we're going to use today. Absolutely love the color story. The other color stories I picked up was 10, which is a very warm color story, which is something that I'm definitely going to use. I can see me using this actually quite a lot. It reminds me a little bit of the Dior's that have come out lately. Dior's kind of been a little warm leaning in some of the ones they've done. And then this is number 11. Definitely a cooler leaning quad. It has this lovely purple in it, lavender, blue kind of shade here. Looking forward to using that as well. So I honestly am very impressed overall with the collection. It's not as 70s as I thought it was going to be honest with you. All right, now I also picked up one of the limited edition blushes. This is the color blush in 133. I did not pick up the more intense one. This one is, and I'll swatch it for you. I've used it. The color blushes are a blush and a highlighter in one. So you can use them separately, or you can use it as a highlighting blush, depending on what you want. It's really hard to see on me because it is very light, but that is the limited edition 133. I'm going to use it as almost like a highlighter, highlighting blush, but I also picked up one of the blushes in the melting formula, which is just blush, and this is 09. I've already used this several times since I got it, and it's one of my favorites. It's a very neutral, pinky, peachy blush, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. So we're going to use both of those on my face today. I do have a little bit of bronzer on. Actually, I should have mentioned that. The Chanel bronzer in light, so it's a very light shade. I picked up 4 lipsticks and then both of the highlighters. These, I believe, are limited edition. I will double check on that, but I think they are. You know, it's one of those things, like, Suqqu usually is pretty good about, like, telling you it's limited edition, but I forget is really the issue, but I think they are. So 101 is this interesting green-looking shade. It doesn't look like that on the face, but it does. I have swatches on my arm. You can see that it's a very light, like, because you really see very little on my arm. It's a very light highlighting kind of gloss. And then this is 102. And that has more of a pink. This has more of like a, almost looks yellow. And I think the pink one or peach one or whatever, the 102 is the one that's more popular. I think that's the one that they have less stock of. But I'm not absolutely sure. So I'm going to try to use both of those today as well so you guys can see that on my face. And sorry about the swatches. I have doing several things at once. All right, so let's take the green one and just kind of put a little bit on the face here. And I think you'll see that it really doesn't do much. All you really get is kind of a gleam. You see that? It's a really nice gleam, but it's not green. You're not gonna look green with this. It's just gonna be a very nice shimmery look. Very pretty. Now the peach one actually has more substance to it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of put it here a little bit on the cheek. And I think you can see it's got a little bit of peach, a little bit of shimmer. So I really like both of these products, the green and the pink, peach, whatever you want to call it. They sink into the skin. They don't, they're not too shiny. They're not like a highlighter, you know, they just have sort of a nice luminescence, which is kind of what I go for. I don't like a really bright highlight. If you like a really bright highlight though, you're not going to love these because it's very subtle. It's pretty. You can see it. Like, look at that. But it's subtle. All right, so now I'm going to take the highlighting blush. We're going to have a lot of highlight on today, but that's fine. We're going to take this and I'm just going to use a little bit of it. And like I said, I'm going to kind of use it as highlight. I'm blending both of the shades together. I'm just going to use it as like a high, let's say a high blush cheek shade. See how beautiful that is? Especially on top of the highlighters. I mean, it's super. Like, I mean, I have nothing bad to say. And then we'll take the blush. This is the Melting Blush in 09. And I'll use that, you know, just a little bit over all of that, but a little bit more on the cheek. And you'll just see, like, I've just put 4 different products on my face, but it's still not too much, you know? I think it's just beautiful the way everything they use, everything they have blends together beautifully, and it just all works. So you can take a little bit of everything if you want and build it up. Or you can just use one of the products or, you know, 2 of the products together. But if you wanted to use all of the products like I just did, you could absolutely do that and get a stunning look on the face. Okay, so before we get into the eyeshadows, I do want to mention I also picked up the liner. This is a liquid liner. This is the green one. I'm sure it has a number. I don't know what it is. It's got like an olive green shade though. You knew I was going to pick it up. I mean, it's olive green. Of course I was going to pick it up. So we'll use that today. And then the lipsticks, let's see. I'm going to need a magnifying glass to actually see these. All right, let's look. We have 110, which is the limited edition ones. The ones that have like 3 numbers are limited edition. So we have 110, 112, 13, and 14. All right, let's look at 110. Let's do it. I got so much stuff on me here. Sorry, guys. That's 110. And these are sheer mattes. 112. I like the Suqqu formula, I have to say. That's a pretty pumpkin. That's gonna look nice in the fall. I think I might use that one today. We'll see. 13. Sorry. 13. It's also a pretty shade. These are actually really nice. And then 14, which is what I took on my trip, and I smushed it. I didn't mean to, but I did. But it's a really nice pinky brown. We'll see what I decide to use based on how the eye look turns out. I mean, I have a general idea of what it's going to look like, but you never know. You never know. All right, let us start with the eye look. Let me swatch these for you. If you're not familiar with Suqqu, I would say that The shades tend to be subtle, but even if they are subtle, they really, they pack a punch. Like they blend really well together. They always look stunning on the eye. And they're usually a color combination that you wouldn't necessarily like originally think of. But then when you put it on, you're like, oh, it looks really great. Happens to me every time. Oh, I love that green. It's like a mint green. Okay, so those are the 4 shades. This is, I'd say, more of a matte. This is a satin. This is a satin, and this is a topper. You know, I want to emphasize the green more than any other shade, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, let's do a pretty easy, I always say that. Let's do a relatively easy look. We'll make it simple. No tutorial today, just a pretty eye look. Take the matte, I think it's a matte. It's the mattes are so creamy with Suqqu that, you know, it's really amazing. Their formula is excellent. All I'm doing is drawing a crease line, and I will go with a fluffy brush and make it softer in just 1 second. All right, let's soften that up a little. Now, this does seem to be a little warmer, at least this particular brown. This is like a warmer shade. It's really, really pretty. It's got a little bit of almost like, it's not orange. What is that? It's almost like a little bit of bronze. It's a really nice shade. Really, really pretty. The reason I used a really narrow brush to do that is because I wanted to keep that shade off the eyelid as much as possible. I'm going to be putting it up here into the brow, but if you go with a fluffy brush to begin with, it's kind of, I do it a lot to kind of get just a diffused look on the eye, but when I'm looking for more of a specific, and I want the lid to be a little bit more bare because I want to put the green on it, I use a thinner brush. That's what I was looking for. So we can use the same thin brush and going with the satin. If I didn't really want to emphasize the green, I can tell you right now, I would use more of the satin. It's really pretty. Like, it's beautiful. But you know I wanna use the green. It's not the only reason I bought it, but it was a big reason. I'm a sucker for green. The shades that are coming out, the olives that are coming out from everyone this fall. I bought a pair of olive shade boots. I have 2 olive sweaters I just bought. An olive like jacket. I've got a bunch of olive stuff. I have to do like a video where I show it to you. I'm very excited about all the olive. All right, so let's put the green on the eye. Now, of course, this is not an olive shade. This is more of a mint shade, which Suqqu has done before in their, my brain is gone, in their pre-summer collection. They had some beautiful greens and blues. And so this one has a little more olive to it. It's a little bit more of like, I'd say almost like army green. Not really olive, but it's not really mint either. The one, the pre-summer collection was more minty green. I actually did, I think, an Instagram reel of comparing it to some other minty greens I had, like the Chantecaille and the Tom Ford. This one has a little bit more of like that army green, especially when you mix it with the brown. And I'll go back over the crease and the outer corner with the satiny shades just to kind of emphasize that. Because when you mix the satiny shade brown with this green, that's really what you get. You get more of an olive. Yeah, that's going to be stunning with all of my olive clothing that I've put together. Very excited about these. Can you tell? Can you tell? All right, now I'm going to take the sparkly shade, the topper shade. Now, the reason, like, a lot of people, when they first see these, they're like, well, you know, the topper shade doesn't have a lot to it. And in a way, you're right. Like, when you swatch it out, it doesn't look like much. But when you put it over the top of any of the looks that Suqqu has put together, it always just adds like this extra whatever. And it's always good. I have never done it and been like, oh, that added nothing. It's really impressive what it does add, even though it doesn't look like much in the swatch. Isn't that beautiful? Look how stunning. Like, this might be one of my I keep saying that. Every time I get a new Suqqu, I'm like, this might be one of my favorites. But this might be one of my favorites because of the green. I'm a huge fan. All right, so let me clean up the outside of the eye just a bit. And we're gonna take the green liner and we're gonna put it on the lash line. Now, liquid liners. I have to pull my eye just a little because I do have older lids, and if I don't do that, it's hard for me to get a firm eyelid. But I would also say to you, don't pull too much, because if you pull too much and you draw a line, it's not going to be where you think it is, because of the fact that let's face it, you're pulling it, so it's, you know, you're going to have like it's not going to be in the placement you think it is. Like on the inner corner of my eye, I can just draw, it's fine. It's the outer corner of my eye that I have to pull a little, but I still try not to pull a lot because, like I said, it will impact where you think, you know, you'll be pulling the skin and you push it back down and the line ends up in a different place. So one of the things I would tell you if you're interested in doing like almost like a wing, I don't do a ton of wings, but what I would say is just like pull the liner in little strokes like that, and you'll get the line that you want. You don't have to do it in one swipe. See how I'm almost like feathering like that? And then you can go back in, and again, I have to pull mine a little bit because I gotta make sure it's taut, but you can go back in and make, you know, the line on your lid. When you have your eyes open, but the important thing is that you see the line, the wing line this way. When that's when people are seeing. When the eye is closed, it's gonna kind of go like this and then like this. It doesn't actually look like this when your eye is closed. That's normal. I'm gonna use on the lower lash line too. Yeah, you know, you have to do it so that what it looks like when your eye is open is the way you want it to look, not when your eye is closed, because most of the time, your eyes are not going to be closed when you're talking to people. This is a great liner. It's very much an olive shade. I think it looks really pretty. Looks great with this look, obviously. And it's a little bit more subdued than, say, you know, a black or brown. And it's a little bit different. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. It looks very nice. All right, so I'm going to let that dry down just a tad. And then I'm going to use, I should probably use one of the, I kind of want to use the 14 because this is the shade I really like. So I'm going to use it. Like I said, I smushed it. But let me just show it to you on the lips. If you're like me and you like, you know, like a good neutral pinky brown, number 14 is perfect. And I would also say that yes, it is a satin. It is a matte, but it's a satin matte or sheer matte. So I know satin and matte don't like go together, but these do. They have like a satin. They have like a satin feel to them. They don't feel super matte, and they do stay on beautifully. When I was in Denver and I was walking around, it was 100-degree heat or close to 100-degree heat. These actually stayed on. It stayed on really, really well. I do have on the Emil Corden lip balm underneath, so it does help a little bit. I will say it's a little bit cheating, but yeah, I think it's beautiful. So stunning look, right? The Suqqu. This is the thing about Suqqu, guys. Every time, I'm impressed. Let me put on a little bit of mascara and then we'll just finish with final thoughts. Okay, so mascara is on. I have to say, I know I just sound like I'm repeating myself, but I'm always just so impressed by Suqqu. The collections always look even more beautiful in person. I love this one because of the green. I'm gonna, you know, be honest about it. That's what drew me to it. But it just, overall, it's beautiful. I mean, it just looks stunning on the eye. It's great for more mature skin. The liner's really nice. I love the lipsticks, even though they're, quote, mattes. You know, they're sheer mattes, so they don't feel heavy in the summer. I don't wear heavy lipsticks in the summer, especially. Yeah, the liner's really cool. I like it. Works really, it's easy to do a wing with. The cheek products, I mean, look at the glow that that gives. Now, yes, I have 4 different ones on, but you get my point, right? You could just use one of them and just put like, you know, either the melting blush or the color blush over it. You're going to get a stunning look. I'm always happy with the way the look turns out when I use Suqqu. Just every single color story, every single time. It's a beautiful job, beautiful. So I love the collection. I'll play around with the other quads as well, but this one is limited edition. So if, you know, if there is one that's going to sell out, it's probably going to be this one. And because I love the green, of course, I had to get it. The foundation, Lancome. I'm really impressed with this Lancome foundation. I would never have picked it up, except for I think it was, I forget who told me about it. If you're the person who told me about it and I forgot, I'm so sorry. And please remind me. But yeah, I really like it. And I wouldn't have picked it up. I just wouldn't have. I'm really impressed. It's really good. I have dry skin, I'm older, all those things, but I think it looks beautiful. I'm surprised. Anyway, so I think that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon.